Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and as you can see we've got another haul video for you. Fourth haul video that I've done since I started the channel, which is about just over a month old, I think. So a lot of people seem to be enjoying these haul videos and stuff that I've bought charity shop wise or online. So I think I'll probably keep up doing the haul videos for the moment and see how we go with those. Okay, the first couple of bits I actually bought off Amazon because they were on special offer. First of all, we have Lana Del Rey's latest album. Bit of a fan of Lana Del Rey. Got all her other albums in my CD collection. This, as I say, was on special offer, so I thought I'd pick it up and see how it is. This one does look like a lot more of a collaborations type album with a lot of the names that are down there. To be perfectly honest, don't really recognise any of those names there, so I'm not too sure how enjoyable I will find that one compared to her other albums, which were just herself as such. But I'll give it a go and see how it is. Next up we've got is another not eBay, another Amazon purchase, The Dark Man, which is 1950s British film noir. Let's see if we've got a date on here by any chance. Not that's readable, not that's in a big enough font that I can actually read. Oh, I think I could just catch it there. 1951. So 1951 British film noir type thriller. I actually caught the last about 15-20 minutes of this film the other day, and what was quite interesting was, as some of you will know, I live down on the south coast of England, and the last 20 minutes or so of this film actually takes place in a place called Dungeness, which is somewhere I've been quite numerous times, and it shows Dungeness in the 1950s. It's not as barren as it was in this film, but it can still be a sort of barren looking sort of place, but there is a lot more there than there used to be, namely a big power station for one, but never mind that. Yes, it was really interesting. It showed the railway at Dungeness. It showed Dungeness Lighthouse. In fact, two of the main characters go up to the top of the lighthouse and look over and out across Dungeness. And I've actually also been up Dungeness Lighthouse myself in the past. So to see Dungeness, see the train station as it was back then in the 50s, the lighthouse, very, very much local interest in the film. So I had a quick look online and I could track this copy down, as I say, that was on Amazon quite cheaply. So I thought I've got to give that a go. I've got to see the film from the beginning, and the fact it's got the local interest in at the end there. So that was a little bit of a treat to myself, as it was only a little few pounds. Went out and about in the week, managed to pick up a couple of bits and pieces, as I say, and over the little bit at the beginning of the sort of end of last weekend, actually, I think. First up, also found on a trip out in the week, Colossus, the Forbidden Project. I think I already have a copy of this floating about, but this one is interesting because I think it has a few bonus material bits here. Yes, we've got an audio commentary with director Joseph Sargent, and original promotional material, and a stills gallery. So I'm not too sure if my other copy actually has the audio commentary, so I'll have to dig that out and check it up at some point and have a look. So that one might be a slight upgrade to that. I think it's also got a reversible cover. Yes, it does. It has a reversible cover there. So you've got, yeah, that's quite good actually. I didn't realise that at first when I picked that up, but yes, it's got the reversible cover. So there we go. So got a copy of that. As you can see, it was only £1, so I'm quite pleased to get hold of that. Finally picked up a copy of Ocean's 11, the original, as it says, Rat Pack caper. Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, Angie Dickinson. And this one came in this slipcase. And it's got some nice special features on this. It's got feature-length audio commentary by Sinatra and Angie Dickinson. It's got a then and now Las Vegas map, and a few other bits and pieces. A couple of trailers. This one is also... What I also like about this one is when I got it out in the charity shop and had a quick look, I found out that it was one of these snap cases that Warner Brothers did, which, as I've said in a previous video when I picked up one of these snap cases, they tend to be a bit of a love it or hate it, bit of a Marmite. Some people, like myself, really like these snap cases. Don't know why, but just something about them. I just love them. And a lot of people don't like these snap cases, but I think they're pretty funky. I quite like them. And as it says on the front of the case there, there's some art cards in this one. So let's have a little look. We have got the man himself, Frank Sinatra, there. Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., and Peter Lawford. So basically the 4 male leads there. So, and the fact that the cards were actually still in there, which was a bit of a surprise. They weren't actually inside the case, they were actually between the DVD and the slipcase. So it was amazing that they actually hadn't got lost. But I've just put them on the inside there for a minute. Again, as I said, it's one of these Warner Brothers snap cases, and I do like those. And that was 79 pence. So not bad. Let's pop the slipcase back over. The slipcase has got a few dinks in it, but I can live with that for 79 pence. Okay, early Ridley Scott film I picked up. It's one of those that should have been in a box set with 3 or 4 other Ridley Scott movies, but I picked this up in a charity shop, which was doing, I think, something like 4 or 5 for £1. The other ones that I picked up were just generic, everyday DVDs, your bog standard stuff that you see so much of. But the other ones all were in sealed plastic, and because they were 4 or 5 for £1, I picked those up as spare case jobs. So if I pick something up that's a little bit more special, then I've got, and the case is a little bit ropey, a little bit damaged or whatever, then I got a case that I can use to swap over. But this one I got purely to watch. It's Tom Berenger, who's an actor I quite liked. He was quite around a bit in the sort of like mid-late 80s. He was in Platoon and 1 or 2 other movies, so I quite like him. I think recently he's been seen in things like Inception. Someone to Watch Over Me. It's a thriller. I have seen it, but a long time ago, and can't remember too much about it. The only reason I wanted to see it is because it's an early Ridley Scott film. I don't mind watching early Ridley Scott films. I think he's pretty much a director that's gone off the boil, really. I think he's not particularly doing anything of much interest. It tends to be paint by numbers with regards to the sort of stuff that he's putting out nowadays. But I wanted to go back and watch something of his earlier filmography that I couldn't remember too much of. So picked that one up, and again, that was in that group, as I said, for 5 or 4 for £1. So I thought I'd pick that up. Okay, we shall move those to one side. And now I went to one of our little local shops here in town, which is called Help Our Town, and I'll post a picture of it up here because it's a lovely little shop that we have. Raises money for local sort of charity upkeep type of thing. And I went in there earlier this week and picked up the Steelbook Blu-ray 2-disc edition of Doctor Strange, the first Benedict Cumberbatch Doctor Strange movie. This was marked up at £4.50, which is a bit more than I would normally pay for a second-hand Blu-ray or DVD release, but because it was the Steelbook and basically it is as new, I couldn't see any dents or anything, not any particular wear or anything mark wise. The discs were absolutely fine. I checked them in the shop. They were as new, so I thought I'd pick that up and have that in the collection. What I was really happy to get hold of, particularly as I had seen it in a pile of bits and pieces that hadn't been priced last week, and was still there this week, and that was the Ginger Snaps trilogy. This is actually a Viavision release. Anybody who collects DVDs, Blu-rays knows Viavision from their imprint label, and I've heard quite a few things about Ginger Snaps on one or two YouTube channels, including Terry Talks Movies, who I think recently covered the Ginger Snaps movies, and very pleased to get hold of that. Excellent condition case, which was fine. Just slide that over, and each disc I checked out and they were absolutely fine. No marks or anything, so I thought I'd pick those up. So there we go, and Ginger Snaps 2 there, and Ginger Snaps the original. So be looking forward to seeing those. As I say, I've heard quite a few things about Ginger Snaps. Werewolf teen movies. Maybe I'm doing that a bit of a disservice saying teen movies, but I know they're definitely werewolf movies. So yeah, be interesting to see what's happening there, and have a little look at those. So quite pleased to get hold of that. Price wise, he had priced that up at £12.50. He had looked online and had seen what they were going for online, which I know can be quite expensive actually. I looked myself and could see that I think it was, some people are asking up to nearly £50 for this box set alone of the Ginger Snap movies. He had £12.50 on there, so I was more than happy to pay that for something second-hand, which seems to be quite highly collectible on the second-hand market. So I've gone a little bit more than I would do maybe for something, but I think that was a fair price. Although I must admit it did get better price-wise, because what I also picked up from the same shop, all three together with those Blu-rays, was James Bond Octopussy, the classic comic strip collection, 1966 to 1969. A lovely hardback book, which pre-prints the newspaper strips of James Bond. Here we go, a lovely gloss paper, excellent condition book, and this was priced up at £5. So I thought, yeah, this is going to come home with me. I do actually have the newspaper strips that Titan printed some years ago in flexi bound books. I think there's about 6 or 7 in the set. I have the set of those, but when I saw this book, I thought, yeah, I've got to pick that up and pick that up, because with the flexi-bound books, they did print them slightly different. They printed them as a normal book, which meant obviously here they're printed as they were as newspaper strips going across, so obviously that's a lot easier to read than them being sort of truncated as such into a standard size book. But absolutely brilliant. I picked that up straight away. He did have a collection of other James Bond books, like the poster books and making of books, but all the rest were ones that I already had, so I left those for somebody else because they were excellently priced, but I already had them. I know I've already got these stories in other format, but to get them in this format in a nice hardbound book like that for £5 was excellent. But as I say, I got all 3 of those pieces together and he gave me a discount, so I got those for a total of £20, which I was absolutely pleased with. I thought, yeah, take my money. I'm not going to argue with £20 for those. I thought that was an excellent little buy. Okay, that's the haul at the moment as it stands, but I may have a couple of more bits to add to this video, as we've still got a couple of days left of this week, so I may find something else in the meantime. But okay, let's see what else turns up. Not necessarily part of any haul that I've done this week, but something else that did come through my letterbox in the post was my 2 subscriptions to 2 brilliant magazines, which are self-published by a gentleman called Paul Ware. First of all, we have Past Perfect presents Avengers Assemble. This is up to issue number 9, summer July 2025. Basically, what it does, or rather what Paul does, is he reviews comic books. He reviews British magazines, British comics from the sort of 60s, 70s. He does TV shows. He does sci-fi films, adventure, all manner of sort of pop culture-y stuff that us 60s and 70s and that sort of era babies grew up with through the 70s and 80s as kids. The Avengers Assemble says what it says on the tin. It covers reviews of the Avengers. I think there's also some Fantastic Four as well in there, and I think some Amazing Adventures. There we go. Paul does a number of different magazines. His main one is called Past Perfect, which we'll get to the new issue in a moment. But he's also currently doing, and there we go, we have a little bit of a checklist. He's currently doing Past Perfect, Avengers Assemble. He's doing some Master of Kung Fu specials, looking at the Master of Kung Fu series. And he is also doing a Conan series at the moment. In fact, we've got a nice picture there of both of the current issues there. He does have a eBay page where he has these for sale. And I know there's also a Past Perfect Facebook page as well. So either way, you should be able to track these down, and if it's something that looks of interest, it's well worth subscribing to, because he does cover some excellent stuff. And he does do a nice range of back issues of the various magazines, so you can catch up quite easily with what he's been doing. This is the current issue of Past Perfect, issue 239. Came from my letterbox a few days ago. As you can see, he's covering Doctor Who at the moment. I'll just go through quickly at some of the sort of bits and pieces that he covers. Okay, at the moment he's doing a review of Luke Cage Hero for Hire series from Marvel. He's also doing some Fantastic Four reviews, which interested myself because I do love the Kirby Lee era. He's doing some Daredevil. He has done a review. He's been doing reviews of Frank Miller Daredevil run and various other runs. I think currently at the moment, also in here, we should come across the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars in a moment. I think he's currently doing that at the moment as well. We've got Hulk, which he's covering again from that wonderful 70s era. Recently, last couple of months, because he's up to number 3 with Invaders, so quite interested in that. That was a series that I used to pick up quite regularly in the cheapie bins. There we go. We got Marvel Superhero Secret Wars that he's been reviewing. He tends to sort of perfect example of how he sort of does the reviews. He does the setup, i.e. what the story is, what happens within the issue, in detail. Normally lets you know what he feels are the great bits, the best bits of the story, what makes the story what it is. Does a little quick review of maybe bits and pieces that don't quite work, what may or may not be the thing that works, and then there's like a little trivia bit sometimes, and then there's like a wrap up of overall general view. He's also been covering the Jack Kirby Fourth World stuff. He's been doing one week he'll be doing Mr. Miracle, as we've got here. Next issue might be a new Gods or Forever People, or Jimmy Olsen. Basically, however the timeline works with reading the story of the Fourth World as they came out. He's doing a review of the whole Fourth World saga. So this issue we have Mr. Miracle number 18. Then he does, as I say, features on bits and pieces. At the moment, he films and TV. At the moment, he's he's doing the unit stories from Doctor Who, which have been quite good to read through and have a look through. The John Pertwee era is my favourite sort of Doctor Who era. I didn't grow up with John Pertwee. I grew up with Tom Baker, but John Pertwee is my favourite Doctor Who era. Then we have Legion of Superheroes, which he's been covering as well. Yep, here we go. We've got a little bit there. He's done some various Christmas specials on various different things. He's done some king-size reprints of reviews. He's done what he calls themed reprints, Alpha Flight. His reviews of Alpha Flight, Daredevil, Frank Miller. As I said, he's done that. Dick Coe's run on Doctor Strange, and collected all those reviews as they've appeared in the monthly magazine into one magazine. It was actually the John Byrne ones covering John Byrne's Alpha Flight and Fantastic Four that I first discovered past Perfect magazine, and has been buying that ever since. Been a subscriber ever since. And as I say, you can get these back issues quite easily from him. So there we go. You've got like an order form there, so you can order those from him in each magazine. So that's pretty good. Very, very professionally done. Very well laid out for a self-published magazine. Very, very good. Then we got Venture Comics again, because it covers Legion of Superheroes, which was in there earlier. And then there's usually a Memory Lane TV bit at the back that he's been doing for some issues, covering sort of various TV shows from that sort of like 90s period. We got sort of like Star Trek Next Gen, Buffy, and Warehouse 13, which I think is a little bit later than the 90s. I think that's early, maybe sort of early 2000s, mid 2000s, something like that. There we go. He's covered Star Trek, the original series, in depth, and those are available as specials, and obviously he looks like he's going to be going on to the Star Trek movie, so it'd be interesting to see his reviews of those. So there we go, just a little quick extra, little shout out there for Paul Ware and his magazines. There we go. Okay, thank you, and let's see what else I can pick up in the week. Bye bye.